I just recorded so much of this video and I didn't have the mic plugged in. So funny. Do you want a lens with character? Do you want a lens that's cheap? What else? What else is there? Cheap, character. That's about it. Get yourself a vintage lens. All right, so when I kind of first started, I started seeing cinematic images and cinematic images. I was like, how do you get that? So you learn about lighting and you learn about different cameras, the black magics and all this stuff. Then you finally stumble upon the vintage lenses. That's what I did. But my first thought was, oh, I'm gonna get a black magic camera. Never did. Always been rocking with the Panasonic. When I got into vintage lenses, I call it black magic mode because the vintage lenses give an interesting image, man. It's just, I love it. I've taken a long time of not using them. Now I've been using them again and I love it. I recently had a shoot with Tiki's Geckos here in Florida. They're an amazing client of mine and I got to use the 70-200 for the first time on a gig and I loved it. Definitely took some getting used to, but I just loved it, man. And over time using these vintage lenses, I just enjoy it. It's just fun. It's just pure fun. So I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. If you are on a budget or want to just buy something new, you got that gear acquisition syndrome, maybe look into vintage lenses because, and if you want character. So you're gonna have character on a low budget, not bad. It's really cool. It's a good time. Come on in. All right, I just want to get straight into it. Let's talk about the good. Number one is the unique images, man. Like, you're just not gonna, I'm not gonna say you can't get it with modern lenses. It's more of like, you don't know what you're gonna get when you get a vintage lens. And honestly, some of them are really comparable to modern lenses, which is very interesting. My Canon FD 50mm is very, very close to my Panasonic 50mm 1.8, which I'm shooting on right now. But then you have like my most vintagey, character-filled, AKA flaws-filled lens is my Canon FD 30mm f2. That thing is straight vintage vibes to the max. A lot of character, flaws, and blooming highlights, and you know, but I've gotten beautiful images out of it and I like using it. There was a while I did not use my vintage lenses, man, but after picking them up again recently, I'm like, now I know why I really just freaking enjoy these. So yeah, that's one of the pros is the images. Another pro is the price. So, you know, all my lenses, I don't think any of them costed much more than $100. My 70-200, I got that for around $41 to $50. Like, the images look great, man. Like, these cameras nowadays, everything looks so good. So I was able to adapt it. You know, there's so many vintage lenses out there. And the only reason I really stick with Canon FD is because I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of all the Zeiss and the whatchamacallits and all that. Dude, I'm going to get too crazy. So I'm like, you know what? Get the Canon FD adapter. They're good enough. And I've just kind of stuck with that. I might try Nikon, but there's so much variability and choices that you can make in these vintage lenses. So in terms of the budget, like there's so many options. You have super cheap, super expensive, Canon FD 24mm f1.4, worth more than me. Probably will never get it, but that would kind of be a dream. Beautiful lens. I have the 24 2.8, and that thing it's just like, these lenses just give like a freaking plumpness to the skin. Don't know how to explain it. It just looks like you can just touch people's skin, bro, you know? It's just awesome. Like, I just love the unique images. And all right, so they have character and they're budget friendly. That's the main thing. I will say they also will stand the test of time. These lenses have lasted since the 60s and 70s, 80s. You know, that 70-210, sorry, is older, a little older than me, and I'm old. They've lasted this long, they're good to go. They're gonna last, and it's not a huge investment. If something happens to them, there's plenty more available. So it's kind of a beautiful thing. Let's just get right into the bad, man. You honestly may not know what you get. I got lucky. My first vintage lens was a Canon FD 28mm. The dude had the box, and I believe he was the original owner. We talked a little bit on eBay. It was clear that the guy took care of it, and it's probably my cleanest vintage lens that I have. And the image has that unique character. But sometimes, you know, you just never know what you're gonna get. Make sure you read that description. Are you okay with the dust? Are you okay with the fungus? Are you okay with the radiation? Yeah, some of these lenses got some radiation crap going on. I didn't look too much into it because I'm not worried about radiation, man. My stomach acid will kill it. You just want to be careful, and you just never know. But that's kind of the fun. It's like a prize every time. All right, this is, I guess, kind of a con. The fact that there ain't gonna be no autofocus unless you want to do extra crap, but they're manual focus lenses. Good luck. You might actually be able to find people selling vintage lenses around you, offer up maybe even a store that has vintage lenses, your flea markets. These all could be other options besides eBay or Amazon. So you could actually get your hands on pawn shops. All these spots can have vintage lenses that might be in good condition. So man, I gotta say, I'm happy that I started using these things again. Just taking a long break from them, and it's just fun. Like they're kind of fun to collect. It's fun to see what you're gonna get out of them. The fact that you're not gonna spend a ton of money like your modern day lenses. It's a lot of pros for me, and the cons they're definitely outweighed. So I love the vintage vibes, and yeah. Conclusion: if you want character and you want it for cheap, get some vintage lenses, get you an adapter, put on your modern camera. Or if you want to go full blown nutty, you get yourself the vintage camera and do some film. It's too much for me though. I need a memory card. Sorry. I don't know what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to be a character. It's coming off horrible. Sorry. It's not funny, it's stupid. I'm not even gonna put this in the freaking video. Canon FD, 1970 to 1979. This generation of lenses saw the greatest amount of variation in mechanical construction, with up to 4 different versions of certain lenses being produced throughout the decade. FD lenses moved the aperture ring to the rear of the lens, mirroring most other manufacturers of the time. Cool! That's it. That's vintage lenses in a nutshell. Alright, got no money? Probably shouldn't be spending it on lenses, but if you want to be irresponsible a bit, which I get. I get it. We're all pieces of crap sometimes. Get on eBay and get yourself a nice lens, man. Come on down to Florida. Come shoot with me. I got a few. All right, so that's it, guys. That's my take on vintage lenses. Let me know if y'all got any. What's your thoughts on them? And yeah, much love. Stay blessed. And don't be like me. Get out there and shoot.
What are you doing?